About 3 months ago, I made a video about the problems with social media. That video also featured a South Park episode related to the topic. In today's video, I want to expand upon what I said previously. But before I give my 2 cents, this video is made in collaboration with The Meaning of Nerd YouTube channel. The special guest for today's video. The Meaning of the Nerd is a video essay channel with some of the best editing that I've seen on this website. At the moment, he's probably the most underrated channel on YouTube. As you'll notice by watching some of his videos, his content is fairly similar to mine. However, if you're a fan of anime, he's got you covered there as well. Please do me a favor and show him love and support by subscribing. In the episode, You Have Zero Friends, Stan gets hit with the toxic side of social media, so perhaps by watching his pain, you could relate in one way or another. The story begins with Cartman and Kenny bragging about how many friends they have on Facebook. Kyle, however, is not satisfied with his 37 friends, and just so we're on the same page, a more fitting name for these would be followers. Not saying you can't make friends on social media, but realistically, forget what Facebook labels them as. Can you really call more than 2% of the quote-unquote friends you make on Facebook or any other social media platform real friends that you can rely on? Probably not, but I'll expand upon this point later in the video. I'm also not saying that Facebook is completely toxic. As someone who used to go on the website regularly, there's some fun to be found for sure. Maybe it's the games, maybe someone posts a funny meme or something, or maybe it helps you connect with someone in real life. And that's the good side of social media. However, if you become an obsessive user, it's easy to accidentally consume the toxic side of the app as well.
Now, Stan is already well aware of the problems with social media, and so he really doesn't want to take any chances whatsoever. His friends though, they try to get him to join them anyway, but Stan consistently declines because he doesn't want to get sucked into the grind of collecting fake friends and gaining meaningless rewards from video games. But well, his friends create an account for him anyway, and then they even try to hit him with the toxic idea that there's something wrong with you if you don't have many or any friends and followers at all. But you see, that logic fails when you think about the people who don't use social media or don't care about Facebook. They technically have 0 followers, and yet they are still living happy and fulfilling lives. Social media depression is real. This episode tries to lighten it up by turning it into a joke, which is the beauty of South Park of course, but there really are people who take losing a follower disturbingly seriously or look at their numbers online to determine their worth. And the people who create these websites are all well aware that this is an issue. If we quickly look at it from a business perspective, the evil geniuses, for lack of a better term, who design these websites intentionally manipulate human behavior in order to keep you on the app for as long as possible.
The 38-year-old mogul admits he, along with other pioneers of social media, knew what they were doing.
We understood this consciously, and we did it anyway. It literally changes your relationship with society, with each other.
So yes, we are all constantly being taken advantage of by people who are simply fighting for our attention. And this manipulation can lead to serious social media depression and dependency. A sad truth that is best shown by Kyle and Kip in the episode. They both go through serious despair as soon as they start losing followers. And that leads me to ask you one simple question. If followers can come and go this quickly and easily, then how can you call them friends? You see, the longer you spend on these types of websites, the more you start to forget what a real friend is. And for me, a real friend is someone who is always going to be there for you when you're feeling low, and someone with whom you can create lifelong memories with. And that's exactly the kind of friend Stan wants to be for Kyle in this episode. But since Kyle is too obsessed with social media, he fails to see the magic of what's right in front of him. The magic of real friendship.
I really need a friend right now. Okay, dude, I'm here for you. Okay, so then get on Facebook and fertilize my crops? No.
This is just one of the many irritating things Stan has to deal with in this episode. Throughout the story, his family, friends, and even random strangers give him a hard time for either ignoring their friend request, not getting a reply back, or anything else that happens on his profile that he wasn't paying attention to, because who really cares? Wendy especially overreacts to every little thing that happens on his profile. Many of you watching this have probably also dealt with a crazy obsessed girlfriend or boyfriend who lacked trust because of one silly thing that happened on your profile.
I think you look cute in your bunny costume? What is that supposed to mean? That's what Susan92 wrote on your Facebook wall. You give girls pictures of you in bunny outfits? Susan92 is a friend of my grandma's and she's 92 years old.
After racking up almost 1 million Facebook friends, Stan gets burnt out by all the social media drama, so he does the unthinkable and tries to delete his profile. However, his request is denied when an evil program sucks him into a virtual Facebook world. In other words, he literally gets sucked into Facebook. Now, imagine if social media was real life. What would our world look like? Well, this virtual Facebook world answers this question quite well. Because as shown in the episode, it would simply be incredibly fake and depressing. Everyone acts and talks like a robot. And it's this drastic dip in uniqueness, dip in authenticity, and these black and white conversations that will leave you wondering, where did all the love go? Because in truth, the term friend has lost all its meaning.
I have more friends than you'll ever have in the real world. Who cares? Friends shouldn't be some kind of commodity for a person's status.
None of these characters actually want friends. They just want their number to go up. They need friends so that they can tell people they have friends. They can't be friends with themselves, and they don't want to make friends in real life because it won't show up on their online profile for everyone to see. It's just a game for them. It's not true love. That being said, I know making friends in real life is easier said than done. I've been in that boat, but I've also gotten out of it a couple of times. I can only say what's worked for me. I met some of the coolest people when I least expected it. I don't want to make this video too long, but what I can say is, it starts with your opinion about yourself. In order to make friends, you have to feel worthy of friends. In order for others to love you, you have to love yourself. I know I say this all the time, but it really comes down to you being friends with yourself. Now, this isn't something that should feel sad or depressing. That feeling only comes from the idea that it's wrong to have no friends, when in reality, that's completely okay. Many people prefer it this way, believe it or not. I'm not saying to isolate yourself from the world and be passive, but the idea that there's something wrong with you for not having friends is not true. Once you get over that notion, then it just comes down to loving yourself and having faith that the friends you deserve will come to love you too. As the story concludes, Stan defeats his profile and is sucked back into the real world. His Facebook page is officially deleted, and his life will be more enjoyable because of it. He could care less about the 0 friends he has because he knows, 1, there's more joy to be found in the real world, and 2, it's not about how many friends you have. It's about how good are the ones you already have. And that's what I respect about Stan in this episode. He doesn't need social media. He's grateful for what he already has. Everyone else in this episode worries too much about what they don't have instead of appreciating what's already theirs. Still, Stan gave social media a chance. He really did. But what he discovered was everything that he thought would happen did happen. But hey, just because it didn't work out for him doesn't mean it won't work out for you. But remember, social media should enhance your life, not destroy it. If you're ever feeling stressed on social media, something isn't right, and Stan will be the first one to tell you that.
Reaching out to me.